ACC football is being brought to you by Alltel. Alltel Total Freedom plans give you nationwide calling with no roaming or long-distance charges. By Ice House. At Plank Road Brewery, we'll make the Ice House, you make the ads. For details, go to icehouse.com. By BB&T. BB&T, you can tell we want your business. By Citgo. Your neighborhood Citgo is proud to support today's athletes. Citgo, we know you. By your local Carolina Jeep dealers, official vehicles of the Carolina Panthers. Jeep, there's only one. And by Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people. Well, you can see the wind whipping down over Grove Stadium here in Winston-Salem. It'll be a factor in the second half as we get ready to start the third quarter. Wake Forest and Clemson tied at 7-all. And let's go to the sidelines where moments ago Mike Hogwood talked with Clemson coach Tommy Bowden.
Tommy, what adjustments did you make in the locker room?
Well, we had some penalties that killed us early right there, and we can't overcome. We've got to be able to run them, but they're not giving us a lot of running opportunities. When we run, we got to make it good, and we got to be able to throw and catch.
Their time of possession was for them. You have anything to keep the ball a little bit more? Is that your option?
Yeah, if we can run it some, but again, you got to convert. We had some 3 and outs. We gave them the ball back. That's what option does. It keeps the football and keeps you off the field.
All right, that's Tommy Bowden.
Thank you, Mike Hogwood. As the Clemson Tigers take the field, you remember Wake Forest deferred their option to the second half, and they're going to receive the football with the wind at their back in this third quarter. That was a game start. That was about, what's that now? 47 degrees, winds north-northwest at 14 miles per hour, the wind chill at 31. Thank you. Wow. It's cold here today, and you can see that from the talons on top of the goalpost that the wind is pretty strong. There'll be a Wake Forest back here in the third. Now, they haven't shown a tendency to want to throw the football, but if they get down in and need a field goal, that wind would be of great assistance. Right now, it's hampering Tony Lazzara's attempt to kick off here.
Balance. The key for both teams in the second half will be balance. Don't get pushed out of your offense. Stay within it. Tackle well. And, force this thing down to the final moments.
You saw that talon. It's blowing right in the face of Lazzara.
Oh, I like this. Look at... Oh, he had it.
Trying to get the onside going and surprise Wake Forest. This time we'll give up field position because the onside kick went out of bounds.
Boy, it went out of bounds, but it was just well thought out. Boy, McKeevely, he had a shot at that. He makes that play. Catches it on the run, you get a bounce. That kid could catch it and scoot.
See, that 13-play drive ended with a fumble down at the 19 of Clemson. Otherwise, 2 punts and a touchdown. And the other important thing, only 5 possessions in the first half. Both teams ate up some clock. 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line. And Terrence Williams has stood up.
They're going to say his knee was down. Like Vaughn is back in the game. Mike Hogwood gave us that fine report on Khalid Vaughn on his shoulder. We saw that maybe it popped out, came back in. A lot of pain. That's what it reminded me of at the time. He was in a lot of pain, but he's back.
Over there at right defensive end. McNeil is at the left defensive end spot. 2nd down and 9. Play fake, and here comes John Stone with blocks on the corner. And Stone, who's carried 41 times prior to this game this year, carries it down on the end around to the 41-yard line.
This time they caught Vaughn. They caught Vaughn inside. Both teams have been very well on defense in terms of not giving up contain. The key to this is you want to get those tackles, those ends rather, to squeeze down. And if you can get on the outside, you win. And there you see 56. You don't see the numbers, which means he's chasing.
1st and 10 at the 41. 11-yard gain by Stone. Here's the pitch. A late one to Williams, and it goes right into the arms of Charles Hafley and Roderick Thomas, who catch up with Williams as he gets to the line of scrimmage.
Thomas made a very nice play. You avoid the block, and you make the play.
Good adjustment on that play. 2nd down. On the first play. Here comes the end around, opposite side now to Thomas, to Stone, and he couldn't square the shoulders that time. This time it is Eric Sampson who drives him out of bounds. Sampson, the true freshman, playing in place of John Leake this afternoon, the leading tackler for the Clemson Clemson Tigers went out with a sprained ankle in the first half and has not returned.
Well, Eric looks comfortable. I just like to see young men who play their responsibilities of the defense. I mean, you have to play in a fury, but you also have to be where the coach expects you to be.
3rd down and 9. Wake in the first half was 7 for 9 on 3rd down. McPherson to throw. Pass is incomplete. There could be a flag. Yes, there is. Jason Anderson was roughed up by Ryan Hemby.
Hemby's a good corner.
Best cover corner Clemson has.
He's a good corner. I think the hesitation in this, if we get a chance to watch the route, he converged. Yeah, there's contact. We'll see the hand caught him. Inside hand, you can't put it around the waist. That'll bring about a flag.
That'll push it to the Clemson 30-yard line. So Hemby picks up the penalty, and Wake Forest picks up the first down. Score tied at 7. Just underway in the 3rd quarter. Clemson tried an onside kick to start the second half, but it kind of backfired on them and gave Wake field position. Here comes Williams, bursts through the middle, breaks 1 tackle, 2 tackles, down to the 1, and they're going to mark him down at the 1-yard line. A 29-yard gain for Terrence Williams.
Boy, Terrence.
But a flag back. Ooh, a flag back at the 27. Williams is hurt. And let's see what the flag is. This could call it back. Oh, big.
10 yards.
Big penalty as Williams down in the end zone. Let's see if we can see the hole.
Go inside. It's such a, well, yeah, I see cloth on the outside. Might have been 75. When you get the hands outside, it's what you don't want. If we can get that, and if we freeze it at the point where I believe outside, see right there? That's where I think it happened. Yeah.
Mike Moose brought it.
Yeah, when the hands get high and get caught up on the pads sometimes. Now let's see if we can find the injury. Right at the end. Oh, yeah, ankle. That'd be left ankle. As he tried to push his way through the tackle.
This is a key loss if Williams can't come up and answer the bell. Let's see it again.
Yeah, you see the leg drive, and then you see it right. Oh, yeah. It went right. Oh, boy. Right down on the ankle.
Great camera work.
It is. Is that Stewart kid again? You might have to keep him
Brian
around.
Mance on the tackle as Williams has helped to the sidelines. There's what Williams has done today. Add a touchdown to those numbers. And Terrence Williams has Wake Forest's only score of the afternoon.
Boy, that hurts. He gives you the quicks. We talked about the thunder and lightning combination. Lightning is out.
Here's his touchdown run from 4 yards out. Of course, he's got a pretty good replacement in Fred Staten, who has 12 carries for 53 yards, but Williams in some pain as he comes to the sideline.
Staten has been strong, but when you saw Williams on that same play, he took it to the house.
It's 1st and 17, and here's Staten getting down to the 35-yard line. It'll be a gain of 2, but boy, 1st and goal from the 1 is a shade different from 1st and 17 from the 37.
It is. Well, Coach Grove, now he looks back, he says, wow, we had a fumble. We were in the red area. We lost that. We had a critical penalty on our 3rd possession, and now this. They started with great field position, and you don't want to go backwards.
2nd down and 15. Staten alone setback. Davis in motion. 2 play fakes for McPherson. The pass is complete from Mahaley, but a flag is down on Charles Hafley, who is covering the fullback.
Well, Charles had this play covered from top to bottom.
Let's see.
See if the contact. Let's see if it's illegal contact.
Interference against Clemson.
Hafley picks up the penalty. Interference on Hafley trying to defend Mahaley, who caught the ball.
That's tough.
And that gives Wake Forest an automatic first down.
He had him covered. Yeah, that's one you don't want to get, especially for a 1-yard gain or so. Good hands, Bob.
1st and 10. 34. Staten off left tackle, and they follow Mahaley into the hole. Good lead block to the 29-yard line.
Nice block, Mahaley. You're right. Good call, Steve. Throw him across. crumb. He comes back and blocks for you. Now let's watch this. We're looking at the interference. Right on the left side, right about there. Now, you know, it looked from this vantage point.
Yeah, look lots worse.
Look good coverage. I saw good coverage on this side because we
Yeah.
didn't see the hands, but you don't see the hands.
2nd down and 5. Staten gets the call. And this time, Rodney Thomas and Chad Carson are there to stop him after just a small gain of about 2.
Tough guy. You see Chad Carson.
So big 3rd down coming here. It'll be 3rd down and 3. Nose of the football is at the 27. The yard line to make is the 24.
Time of possession once again. Wake Forest. They had Woodrow Dantzler over in the icebox.
That's right. 8 out of 10 Wake is in 3rd down. Here's a handoff Staten, but this will not get there. And the first man to hit him is number 98, big Nick Eason, the graduate student out of Lyons, Georgia. And so now Wake Forest with a wind at their back, but they don't see the field goal unit on there yet. That is blowing at Wake Forest back. And they're going for it on 4th and 1.
There's 3 seniors up front. That big offensive line. You ride it.
Staten with a call. No.
Oh, he missed the hole. Didn't follow Avi.
Sampson at the point of attack. Really
McNeil.
stuck a helmet in there.
He knew McNeil would be there.
Oh, you bet. Obvious disappointment on the face of Jim Grove. Let's see it.
Well, you put it on your offensive line. Boy, great inside split of the double by McNeil. There you see 91 on your screen, and those Tigers getting after it. Boy, Chad Carson, that is fantastic. Those tackles, you give them a lot of credit. They kept those shoulders square. They took on the challenge. Big Eason, tank.
1st and 10 for Clemson at the 25. Wake Forest hung onto the football for 12 plays. Here's the pass. It's incomplete. Intended out there for Curry. Harris Curry, who had 5 catches a week ago against North Carolina, the most reliable receiver on the field for Clemson. He's a true freshman.
They want it so bad. You want to make a big play before the football. You have to settle down, catch it, then run.
At the 25-yard line, 2nd and 10. Dantzler held to 43 yards on the ground in the first half. This is Travis Zachary. And Zachary breaks out of tackles and gets out to the 30-yard line. And Quentin Williams coming up from his free safety position to make the stop. Let's get an update on Terrence Williams from Mike Hogwood.
Well, he sprained his right ankle, and he really wants to go back in this game. So the doctors have said they're going to tape it up and put his shoe back on and give him a shot at it. He wants to play through the pain. As you can see, he's getting it taped right now.
3rd down 4. Dantzler has all kinds of time, and he'll run out of it and get the first down and slides down smartly at the 37-yard line before Nate Bolin can get there to deliver the hit. But that moves the change for the Clemson Tigers.
All Dantzler, all the time. You have him, you see your spy technique in the middle. There's sharp. He gives you great effort, but it's just tough to ask a man close to 300 pounds to go and corral Woodrow Dantzler.
About 8 yards on the play. Dantzler to throw, complete to Hamilton, and Hamilton's close to another Clemson first down. Marquise Hopkins is there on the tackle along with Kellen Brantley, but moved the chains again for the Tigers.
Marquise Hopkins, hit man, covers the field from sideline to sideline.
To remind you, the announcers for this game are selected and compensated by Jefferson Pilot Sports. This broadcast a copyright presentation. Any use of this broadcast without the express permission of the Atlantic Coast Conference and Jefferson Pilot Sports is prohibited. Dantzler on first down, rolls left, headed for the sideline, and is driven out of bounds after about a 7-yard gain and hit there by Kellen Brantley.
That's just great scheme. Boy, Brad Scott, coordinator for the Clemson Tigers, starting to get the rhythm now. And you look right on the edge, Ben Hall, 87, the tight end, gives you that little block, and then the release. Well, he was the option. What he's got to do in this case is realize that his quarterback's going to run, turn and help him.
Yeah. 2nd down and 4. Out of the shotgun, handoff to Zachary, and Nate Bowling is there to drag him down after about a 2-yard gain, and it'll still be shy of first down by a yard. So it'll be 3rd down and 1. Bowling, a veteran out of Swanton, Ohio. Look at Travis Zachary. 3rd down and 1, big 3rd down play here for Clemson, trying to keep this drive alive in its 7th play. Handoff, Jasmine, fullback, got it and more. And deep into Wake Forest territory, goes to the 30-yard line. They needed 1, they got 11.
Well, Chad is on a big roll.
Big day for him.
Moving and carries. Could you imagine if Chad ended up with 10 carries? I mean, that's abusive. What he did to Quentin Williams is abusive.
He's carried 12 times this season coming into this game with a 4.5 average, and he hasn't done anything to hurt it today. 1st and 10 at the Wake 30, and slipping and falling is Dantzler. Monteith Sharp, make sure he stays down.
Hey, man, that's home field advantage. That's what you want. You want those gremlins to come out of the turf when you're at home. Help you out a little bit.
It's more than a blade of grass.
Oh, yeah. It's homecoming.
Could be ice for the way this day feels. The wind chill at 31 degrees. 2nd down and 10. Dantzler into the teeth of the wind. Has 4 wideouts and a wing. Headed out to those 3 wide outside to the right. Down to hash mark, complete to Crosby down at the 3-yard line. Roscoe Crosby picks up the reception. And that's a gain of 28.
The execution on this play is flawless. You watch the slide protection out here by the offensive line. What happens there? Then you see inside movement on the run. Now watch Dantzler. Nobody there. All that clear space. Dantzler's able to set up and then throw. Clear path. Steve, you could have made that throw. And then you get right in and close to a score. Perfect.
I wouldn't have caught it in this run.
No, I didn't say you could catch it. I said you would have made the throw.
Jasmine struggles to the 2. Scott is there, Bowling 2. On 1st and goal, he gets 1. 2nd and goal coming. Tommy Bowden wants to take the lead for the first time in this game. His team tied up Wake Forest with a 28-yard pass play, 33-yard pass play rather, from Dantzler to Hamilton. 2nd down and goal at the 2.5. Dantzler to throw over the middle to the tight end, Hall, touchdown Clemson.
Big call. Big call, play action fake again when you start to run it. And they were able. Jasmine had the big key play, 11 yards on a short yardage situation. Zachary, huge, but once again, Woodrow Dantzler, the magician.
And here is Aaron Hunt with a point after. He has not missed one this year. Out of the hold of Jeff Scott, son of offensive coordinator Brad Scott. Here's the kick, and it is good. So the Clemson Tigers step out in front as Woody Dantzler throws his 2nd touchdown pass of the day, going to the tight end from 3 yards out. It's Ben Hall's 2nd touchdown reception of the season as Woody Dantzler listens for the reaction. Clemson steps ahead for the first time this afternoon, 14-7 over the Wake Forest Demon Deacons as Citgo presents ACC football. We're in the 3rd, just beyond the halfway mark. 11 plays on the scoring mark, 75 yards. The touchdown pass and catch by Hall is his 2nd touchdown reception of the season and the 11th touchdown pass of the year for Woody Dantzler. Here is John Stone. Trying to get up over the middle, but there's not much there. Clemson's number 81. Makes the tackle. Well, the ACC.com, your first stop for ACC info, including live stat updates from all conference games, football, press conference audio, links to all 9 ACC schools. The ACC.com is your front row seat for ACC sports on the web. Steve Martin, Doc Walker, Mike Hogwood here at chilly Winston-Salem, 47 degrees and headed south. Here's James McPherson. The pass is incomplete on 1st and 10 as he tried to thread the needle to Fabian Davis. Charles Hafley on the coverage. And Wake Forest hasn't had too many open receivers this afternoon.
No, they really haven't. They are trying to address that issue. But what they do best is cram the ball down your throat. And eventually that's what will be in their favor.
The success on first down is key, so they got themselves a little off schedule here. Here's Stone, led by Staten, turns the corner, and Meekins will drive him out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Nice gain on the play of 8 yards, and Stone's becoming a weapon.
Stone can run. I mean, he can get around there, no doubt about it. He just took up the margin away from Feaster. I thought Feaster had a play on it. He hit the afterburners, and it was over.
Exceptional speed by Stone, who 200 and 100-meter champion in ACC track and field in 1999. Big third down coming. Third down and 3. On the option, McPherson calls his own and stretches for the first down. Down to the 39-yard line. McPherson.
Boy, the kid competes. He has a lot of heart.
Almost lost his shoe.
Yeah, he'll take it. See, up front again, the big fellas in the black jerseys trying to create some room for him, but he made up his mind where he wanted to go and got it done.
So they changed third to first and moved the football out to the 40-yard line. As you look at McPherson, this junior from Tucson, Arizona. Here's the pitch to Staten on the corner. Missed tackle there. Staten turns upfield to the 43.
Woo, that's dangerous.
Yes, it was.
That's dangerous. McNeil determined not to give up any real estate on his side in this ball game.
And Eason, what the early hit in the backfield and missed.
Well, defensively, you want to be disruptive. You want to hit gaps. And there's Eason. You mentioned it. See the athleticism? Big number Brian McNeil, number 91, jumping the pile.
Second down and 7. And 3 by Staten. Play action twice. Stepping up, McPherson has Stone downfield. There are flags everywhere. Sampson covering as a linebacker. Adams step for step.
He can run. Shows you that this young man has some wheels.
Pass interference on the defense. So another first down.
Well, Reggie Herring, coordinator, think, wow, we had this thing pretty well defended. What he didn't have, oh, there's a little tattoo at the end, a little get to know you hit. He had a pretty good pass pro, right until the end. And let's check this ball. This ball is right where it ought to be, right on your chest.
Right now it's at the Clemson 42. First and 10, Wake Forest. Fred Staten at work again, but this time Washington in on the tackle. Donnell Washington, a redshirt freshman from Beaufort, South Carolina.
Donnell Washington shows you how you play when you're 6'6", you're 320 pounds. You're a space eater. He took up space and that time did it all right in his little area. Nobody comes on big number 96.
He's alternating in there with Nick Eason, who's been plagued by an ankle injury.
It's a big fellow.
Yes, he is.
Big guy.
Second down, 9 for the gain of 1 by Staten. Staten now on the end around. The pitch to Fabian Davis. Squares his shoulders, and it went more east-west than north-south. It got to the 39-yard line. It's a gain of 2 after all of that. And brings up third down as we look at some scores. About 60 miles to the east of us, Duke is tied up. And further east, NC State and Virginia are scoreless. Arkansas trying to spring an upset in SEC play. And
Dogs.
huge game at Nebraska, tied up at 10-all. And Syracuse lengthens their lead at the half on Virginia Tech. Our score 14-7. Here's Stone headed to the sidelines. Beats Khalid Bond. Flag on the play. And is close to the first down. But let's see what the flag will bring up. Back at the 35-yard line.
Fabian Davis, the wide receiver, was there.
Courtney Maze is our referee today. Come out to the center of the field and give us the call. So as the interference call hurts Clemson, they get some of that back with this hold.
Right side of your screen, folks. There you see the effort. See the cloth pull. I think he was going down in an effort to probably regain some balance. Grab some cloth. Grab some cloth. Good call.
3rd and 13. McPherson to throw. Throwing now for Davis, but Hafley is all over him. Good coverage by Charles Hafley, and McPherson had to hurry that throw because Clemson had a jailbreak on.
Well, they're getting close now. The dog is starting to pick up the scent. I mean, they were on him. That's twice now. He was knocked to the turf, and you don't want that for your quarterback.
So he comes to the sideline, and Chris Raleigh will come out for the punt. That's only his third punt of the afternoon, I believe. This will be the last one with the wind at his back. That was a key offensive series for Wake Forest.
Chewed up some clock, but now it's about points.
High snap, good protection. And a nice kick by Raleigh. It'll go into the end zone. So with that, timeout on the field, 3:29 left to go here in the third. Clemson up by a touchdown on Wake Forest. Get the Call is back, and this year is your chance to win every weekend with Ice House. Saturday during the game, a few lucky consumers will get a winning phone call, and one of those winners will get to see their favorite team play all season long. It could be you. See participating Ice House displays or visit icehouse.com to register your phone number. Ice House, official beer of JP Sports Broadcast, would like to congratulate Mary Clark from Bryan, Texas, last week's Get the Call prize winner. No purchase necessary. Open to residents of the U.S. who are 21 or older. See displays for official rules. Sweepstakes ends November 20th, 2001. Steve Martin, Doc Walker, and Mike Hogwood here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, where Clemson leads Wake Forest 14-7. First and 10 for Clemson here in the third quarter from their own 20. Pass to the flats to Crosby, looking for room. Instead finds Nate Bowling and loses 3 yards.
Boy, Brantley, great effort. Blitzing backer, able to get out and still be a factor on the tackle. Wake has got to really turn up the intensity defensively, because now they need a turnover. Yeah, they got to force a turnover, get a pick, force a fumble,
or 3 and out.
Yeah, there you go. Get the football back.
And they're on schedule for that with a 3-yard loss. Second down, 13. I don't get the feeling that Wake is a team that can score points in bunches, which they'd have to do if Clemson scores again. But there's a guy who can get yardage in bunches, and that is Woody Dantzler, and he's out close to the first down at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, runs about 10 yards untouched. You start trying to gamble. If you get out of the nature of what your personality is defensively, then you give up a big play. I mean, this is just, again, an outstanding talented quarterback who puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
He gets 13 yards, everything they lost, and then some on the first play. First and 10 at the 30. Dantzler, upfield, has his man. That's Aries Curry. Curry brought down by Quentin Williams at the Wake Forest 34-yard line.
Not only can he run, because Curry has jets, but he has some great hands. Eric King was hesitant. I mean, I thought Eric was trying to bait Woodrow into making the throw so he could come up with the football. Nope. This seems to be out in no man's land. That's strange. Jacumba comes in and he couldn't make a play. Quentin Williams has to come all the way over from his free safety spot.
36 yards on it, Doc. First and 10.
Well, if you allow him to pass and it be successful, you pretty much just close the case.
Here comes Dantzler on the quarterback draw, but there is Nate Bowling. Nice stop by Bowling. Keep him on your inside shoulder and you'll never go wrong. That's what North Carolina did last week.
Well, Nate's a heck of a player. It shows you we haven't heard or mentioned his name a lot in this ball game, but he's there. Premium player.
Out of Swanton, Ohio. He's a senior. Plagued by injuries in the early part of his career, but looked real good there. Second down and 10. Dantzler to the flats. Dropping it is Hamilton. Behind the line of scrimmage, but a forward pass.
Magruder had that one. He had that sense that he had it all the way inside.
And it brings up a third down.
So it's a third down play coming here for Wake Forest, for Clemson.
They never have to panic on third. I don't even think the numbers matter.
Not with him.
3rd and 6, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 14. Doesn't matter. You got to figure he's in 4-down territory based on the conditions.
Yeah, with the wind right at his face. And 2 downs to get 11. Dantzler to throw.
All day.
And hits it complete. And this one is complete to number 37, Marvis Jenkins.
Well, that was a fastball right over the outside edge of the plate. I heard it up here. It was a thump on the pass. I know Hogwood had to hear that one. I mean, this kid Dantzler has all the tools. People say, boy, he's a runner. No, he can throw it. He can think the game. He can do it all.
Not only the big unit, he's a smart unit. Marvis Jenkins takes it down to the 17-yard line. It's going to be a 13-yard gain. Here comes Zachary. So Clemson's in the red zone again. Harbaugh Corgi comes up with a tackle on Zachary that time. Dantzler in the air, 2 touchdown passes, 203 yards. He has 68 rushing yards, so his total offense now well over 7,000 for his career. He came in at 69.90. That's all he's done.
Wow.
Second down and 11. Dantzler the throw, blitzes on, he eludes Chikumwa. Gets outside of Hopkins, throws complete. And it's to the tight end again. That's Hall.
Oh, Hall is rolling. Big Ben, 6'5", 240 pounds, has a touchdown on the day. Has been some key blocks up front. I don't know how Woodrow was able to sense that pressure.
Well, he just stepped out of the way.
I thought Chukwuma had it. I thought Chukwuma had it.
Well, that's the end of the third quarter now. Woodrow Dantzler not only has his team in the red zone, but he's got the wind at his back as he tries to complete this drive. 14-7 Clemson over Wake after this message from your local ACC station. Dantzler with the football as we start the fourth quarter into the end zone for a touchdown. Oh, they came back quick to start the fourth, and Dantzler on one play from 7 yards out takes it in, and the Clemson Tigers tack another score.
One-man nightmare for defense. You can have the best plan. You can be in position. You apply pressure. That little misdirection loosens him up, and then again, just fabulous runner. That guy is unbelievable.
He's thrown for 2, and now he's run for 1, and here's the point after. Aaron Hunt kicks it and gets it. So with 14:54 left to go, the Clemson Tigers march downfield, and Woodrow Dantzler carries the mail, takes them in from 7 yards out, and the Tigers are up 21-7. Clemson 21-7 over Wake Forest as Citgo presents ACC football from Winston-Salem. The Clemson Tigers have moved the ball downfield. And bringing it out of the end zone, this is Fabian Davis. And Davis brings it out to about the 20-yard line. Look at our Geico third quarter stats as we've just moved into the fourth quarter. Through 3, Wake Forest had the better of the rushing yards, but Woody Dantzler starting to get it done in the air. He's passed for 2 touchdowns, and he had 3 key passes on that drive, one including a 36-yarder to Aries Curry. And Dantzler with 279 total yards. That's through the third quarter. You say, well, you only put 2 touchdowns up there. He scored the start of the fourth.
The main thing is the Demon Deacons are stuck on 50 yards in the air. They have got to find a way to get a big play up top.
Now they have to into the teeth of the wind, and they're going downfield. Jax Lanfrey with a catch. Jax Lanfrey, senior from Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey. A big gainer up to the Clemson 44-yard line, a connection of 36 yards.
Well, he made a play. Quentin Williams, I thought at this point it may have been too far out. He tried to pump and go. Quentin really didn't bite. I don't know if the wind held this up or what, but Quentin lost it. He just flat out misplayed the ball. Good throw and catch.
Nice way to start the drive for Wake Forest now. 36-yard pass play. The Lanfried handoff now goes to Staten. And the hole emerges off the left side. Meekins will shut it down at the 35-yard line. It's a 9-yard gain. Staten getting the call because Terrence Williams has been hurt. More on that from Mike Hogwood.
Yeah, and Staten's going to have to go the rest of the way. Williams tried to go on that ankle. It sprained. He can't go. He's taking the shoulder pads off. He's on crutches. He's out for the day.
Second leading rusher in the ACC coming in today with 109 yards per game. Staten, though, in his stead has rushed for 78 yards, including 9 on that last play. It'll bring up second down and 1. Actually, second and 1. Stone on the motion. Here's Staten getting through the hole and very close to a first down. Hafley in there on the stop along with Jovan Bush. Might be close enough for Courtney Mauzé and crew to measure here. Let's see. Nope, they're going to say 3rd and inches.
You just have to put this on the shoulders of your seniors up front. Remember, they were stopped in the last short yardage situation when they went for it.
That's right. Down in the red zone. Here's McPherson right off the block of center Vince Azzolina, and he gets the first down. McPherson converted 3rd to 1st in long yardage situation twice in the first half.
Well, I remember at one point you mentioned they were 7 of 9 on 3rd down conversion. That's winning football, but they didn't have the points, to show for it.
Right. Well, they have a turnover, and they missed it, as Doc said, going on downs in the 4th down situation where they needed 1 and couldn't get it. Now they're 1st and 10, and they're 2 touchdowns back from the Clemson 33. McPherson to throw, the pass complete, Landfried. And Landfried has the first down to the 18-yard line.
Oh, Landfried's feeling it now. See, when you make a big play in the air game, you get a lot of confidence. Now you start to develop after the catch where you can make it. Pass protection. Look at Big Collins there, 79. Now watch the move. See, you're starting to make moves. You're getting in the groove, feeling good about it.
It's a 14-yard hookup for Landfried, who has 50 yards on this drive, which started at their own 20-yard line. There's Landfried. Big day, his last homecoming bout. Handoff Staten inside. And again, good yardage running behind Michael Collins and Vince Azzolina up to the 15-yard line.
Like Azzolina has been here like about 9 years.
I know. And there's Collins.
Yeah, another one. I mean, those seniors, it'll be tough to see those kids go, man. They've been through some times. Big bowl win, a disappointing season, and now, boy, they really have things going well.
2nd down and 7. Goes the end around to Stone, cuts inside, has some running room, and is brought down at the 3-yard line.
John Stone carries to the 2-yard line.
Tackle made by J.J. Howard, saved a Wake Forest touchdown at the 3.
You call that. And J.J.'s hustle is the only reason the band is not in full play right now. Well, you just can't measure it. Mike Hogwood talked about it in his open. The pure speed of John Stone.
1st and goal from the 3. Mulhaley, the fullback. The tailback is Staten. He gets the call and moves it down to the 1. Rodney Thomas in on the tackle for Clemson.
He's got to follow Mulhaley. A couple of times, Fred has seemed to veer away from his big fullback. When you get a road grader like Big Holly, 6'2", 248 pounds, he's a road grader. I would not leave home without him.
2nd down and goal from the 1. Staten, touchdown, Wake Forest. The Deacons strike quickly. They can thank Jax Landfried for 2 big pass connections of 50 yards, and then Staten carried the mail into the end zone.
And McPherson, what a competitor. I mean, he showed a will to win, to lead his offense back. Again, offensive line play, big number 75, the big moose, lunging to help forward. That got it done.
Out of the hold of Landfried, Tyler Ash into the wind for the point after. So Clemson had 3 unanswered touchdowns, but they were answered by Fred Staten's 1-yard run. Going off left tackle, and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons are making it a ball game, down by 7. It's interesting. Fred Staten goes in, carries in for his 5th touchdown of the season. It's a 9-play march, but it only took him 3:43. So yes, Wake Forest can score in a hurry. And of course, 2 big passes to Jax Landfried. The first on the drive of 36 yards.
And balance was the key.
Here comes the return. Brian Mance. Brian Mance almost had a seam, dropped the football, but it's picked up by Bernard Rampert at the 33-yard line. ACC fans, do your holiday shopping at Disney World while attending the new Tangerine Bowl in Orlando. This bowl game matches an ACC team against one from the Big East on Thursday evening, December 20th. So make your plans to attend now for a magical holiday weekend in Orlando. Tangerine Bowl is back. Better than ever. 1st and 10 for Clemson at their own 30-yard line. Dantzler has been tough in the air this afternoon, takes it on the ground and gets about 5 yards. We haven't seen, Doc, those big chunks of yardage that Woody can carve you up for.
His trademark. Those trademark runs that make all of the 11 o'clock highlights nationwide. We really haven't seen it. We had a spectacular play in the red area, but you got to really credit Wake and the great job in the scheme they've had.
Look at the 4 receivers clustered to the bottom. 5 wide outs. It's a receiver screen thrown for Travis Zachary, and he has to, because it was behind the quarterback, he has to bat it out of bounds, and it'll be a loss on the play. Back to the 26-yard line. Now it's an incompleted pass. Oh, Wake Forest sideline is hot. That's a big difference. A 9-yard loss.
I don't know, Zach had a brain cramp for a moment, but he got smart at the end.
Yeah.
Pushed that ball out of bounds.
Out of bounds. And it proved to be an incompleted pass. Big break for Clemson. That could be. Let's watch it again. He's throwing him back. And it's even in back of the receiver.
Yeah, it was forward.
All right. 6 eyes better than 2. It's Dantzler. Big wide open field up the middle. But Monteith Sharp tries to shut him down, but not before Dantzler picks up a first down. So Dantzler goes for 6 yards for the first down.
Just amazing. It's just amazing. Right at the end, as you watch this, of the miracle, let's say 6,000 times we've seen him do something wild. At the end, that little juke opened it up, got him the first down.
Well, that's the tailback in Woody Dantzler. And many times you've heard coaches saying, look, he's not a quarterback, he's a running back playing the quarterback position. He showed you why there. 1st and 10 from the 41. Today he's been a good quarterback with 2 touchdown passes. He'll carry it this time. 3 missed tackles before he gets to the 48-yard line. It's a gain of 7 on the play, and Obia Chukwuma comes down with a tackle.
Well, if it means that if you can't run, you're a quarterback, I wouldn't want to be a quarterback if I were Woodrow Dantzler. I'd want to do it all, and that's what he does. You shouldn't have to lower his standards for the rest of the pack. You're talking about what he's not. Look what he is. I mean, he can throw the football, he can run the football, he runs his team. These guys are in nearly every ball game I've ever seen. Last week being exceptionally good to that brick wall from Chapel Hill.
The last 5 opponents play the Tar Heels running the same thing. Here's Dantzler giving to Zachary, and Zachary fumbles the football. And who's got it? Looks like Wake has got it. Eric King.
Fumble on the play.
You look for the big break, and Wake Forest has just gotten it.
Now let's check to see if the knee is down on this. I mean, I saw the ball went loose. That's 3 times Clemson gave up the football. They fumbled the kickoff return. Let's watch the knee. Now see, the ball's coming out this. The ball is loose there.
Yeah.
At that point, did not have possession. Once again, boy, our camera work today has been smoking.
1st and 10, Wake Forest on the fumble.
Can't get a better look. How about Eric King? Nasty down on the ground, taking the football.
First turnover of the day for the Tigers, but it's a costly one as it sets Wake Forest up at their own 48-yard line.
Unless we lose Big Ben Hall.
Oh boy, tight end.
I can't lose my tight ends now.
They're irreplaceable, aren't they, Don?
You can't. You just can't. You have to go get 3 people to replace them.
1st and 10 from the 48-yard line. McPherson on the handoff to Staten, and Staten has to hang on. Bryant McNeil has had a strong ball game for Clemson, throws him for no gain.
One more look at the fumble. There you see Zachary comes around the corner. And let's watch. Okay, now you look to see is the football. See, the football's out there. See, the ball is gone. Knee is still up. Ball is gone. Great call.
Chukwuma in on the tackle.
Chukwuma was a beast on that play.
Strip. 2nd down, back to throw. Tipped as he threw it, intercepted. Chad Carson brought down by Ira Williams, but that ball was tipped in his forward motion.
Boy, that's winning football. When your offense fails you and you come in on defensively with enthusiasm, I mean, they didn't drop their heads coming out. They came in and you have one thing in mind: get the ball back for your offense. Wow, that's a phenomenal play. Donnell Washington, 320 pounds of manhood. I mean, he just dominated up front.
Chad Carson's played a lot of football, but he's never until that play intercepted a pass. And that one is a key turnover, gives Clemson the ball 1 yard shy of midfield. Here's Rambert with the carry as he tries to turn the corner. And he gets into Wake Forest territory. Now the shoulders of Wake Forest starting to sag a little bit. Marquise Hawkins on the tackle. There's McPherson pondering his fate. That ball, interception, not necessarily his fault, because he was hit as he threw it.
When you get the ball tipped, you get slammed to the ground. That's not Mac's fault on that. He's a heck of a competitor. Rambert in the ball game now today. Get the hook.
Looks like it. Back there, tailback again, gets his second straight carry and charges ahead and close to a first down. On 2nd and 7, he needed 7, and he got 6 of them anyway, down to the 43-yard line of Wake Forest. Scores from other stadiums. Duke and Vanderbilt tied at 14. NC State with a field goal. Arkansas still has that upset on the board on Auburn. And Nebraska now moves ahead of Oklahoma in the Big 12 battle. Virginia Tech has scored. Purdue up by 8. And Ohio State sending Joe Paterno possibly to another loss. Here's Dantzler, and he is hit. Marquise Hopkins, and they drive him back. The football pops loose.
Yeah, they might have that.
And now they're saying it was down.
Carbo Okorji comes in. He had the initial hit.
Chicumwa comes up with the ball, but they're going to say that Woodrow Dantzler was down.
Here we watch it. I love this fake action. Look at all the black shirts going out, but not Carbo. Carbo wouldn't be fooled on that. 22, Quentin Williams comes in. These are snaps by Eric King.
Wow.
Boy, that's big football. That's smart football. I love that.
I'll tell you what. Did you think his knee was down?
No, I watched the football. I didn't see King snatch until the end. That looked legitimate.
Yeah, that looked like Wake Forest might have a case there. It's coming up on 4th down. Let's look at this fumble as we have a timeout on the field. We'll take the timeout and watch. Is his knee down? Woodrow Dantzler dances, and the ball is loose there.
You'll make no monthly payments.
We are back. Big 4th down call. Clemson 4th down and 2. Wake Forest feels that they should have the football back. I think Dantzler's last play was a fumble. This is a long count. Trying to draw Wake offside. And it'll be a delay of game penalty.
Yeah, good defense. That's playing heads-up ball.
Good discipline. And so the punting unit will come on 4th down with a punt wind at their back. But this will be a poor trade of field position for Wake Forest unless they break off a return. They feel they should have the ball at midfield, and there might be some reason to believe that they could be right, because Dantzler looked like he fumbled the football.
Well, we got another shot. Our producer Scott Snyder provided us with a great look on the replay, and it really appeared to be a fumble.
Here's Wynn Kopp with the punt. On an air under this one, and it'll go into the end zone. So Wake Forest will get it at the 20. They get the ball back. They get it a minute later than they would have normally gotten it on the fumble. 48-yard punt, no return, 1st and 10. Wake Forest at the 20-yard line, and their job's cut out for them. But as we've seen, Doc, they've been able to move the ball. They've done it. The last drive was 85 yards, and they did it in 3.5 minutes.
And they went up top. Got the wide receivers involved. The key now, once again, becomes the best athletes on the field. Watch the tight ends. Ray Thomas had a huge play for Wake in the first half.
He's tight on the right side. McPherson will check off. State comes in to make sure he knows the call. Play clock down to 10. McPherson on the keep. McPherson gets to the corner and almost had the first down. Carson tripped him up.
Like Hafley went right out and took the pitch man away. I'm not sure that McPherson knew he didn't have an option to pitch to.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's one of the things you talked about being key to this game. Clemson's trying to sit on the pitch all day.
Absolutely. Take it away. Force him to run. We thought he'd run out of gas. We didn't anticipate this climate would aid him.
Second down and 1. Hand off to Staten, and Staten gets the first down. That'll move the chains, and clock keeps rolling with 5:50 left to play. Wake Forest down here by a touchdown, but they've got the football, and they've got some momentum offensively.
Team with the best offensive line play will win this ball game.
Exactly.
You cannot afford to give up a sack, and you must be efficient on short yardage situations.
Wake's offensive line's only given up 9 sacks this year. Play fake. McPherson rushes on. The pass complete to the tight end, Thomas. His second catch of the day, and it's good for the first down at the 46-yard line.
It's like mutual funds. I mean, I'm exhausted just coming up with ways to turn. When you utilize these talented creatures, get them involved in the game, I mean, you just can't help but be successful.
Spoken like a true tight end. First and 10 from the 46. McPherson. There's a blitz on. He'll throw complete to Anderson. Jason Anderson with another first down reception.
Great pass pro.
17 yards on the play. And Wake Forest moving up the field quickly. They're in Wake territory at the 37.
I don't think I've ever seen an offensive line switch. It's like a hockey line.
In Clemson territory at the 37. Hand off to Staten. And Staten inside the 35. Down to the 34. It's a gain of about 3. Brings up second down.
Let's go back to the opening drive of this ball game for Coach Grove's offense. They had to look in the eye. Mike Hogwood mentioned it. He could sense that being on the sideline. We saw it through our pictures. They seem like they've recaptured that.
They put the ball on the ground at the Clemson 19, and that stopped a long march. And now McPherson is checking for an audible from the sideline. Comes up to the line, checks, almost drew Clemson offside. And off Staten. Staten straight ahead. Hafley in on the tackle, along with Leroy Hill, who's in for Chad Carson, a middle linebacker. Gain on the play of about 4. Brings up third down. Third down and 4, and a key third down coming up for Wake. Down 21-14. They have all of their timeouts remaining. Very good on third down today, as you can see. Here's McPherson, the pass complete to Landry. Landry, a lot of running room. Breaks the tackle and is down at the 10-yard line. A 22-yard hookup.
I like Landry. This kid wants to be a star. I like it. Give me the football. A lot of guys don't want the ball. And crunch. This is crunch. Boy, ball thrown slightly behind him. He makes the adjustment. Now watch him roll. This is what's key.
Away from Hafley, and now it's first down and 10. They can get another first down inside the 1. Hand off Staten, straight ahead. Carson hits him there, along with Thomas, but he gets inside to about the 8. Gain of 3 on the play for Fred Staten, who's now the workhorse for the Wake Forest offense, with Terrence Williams out with an ankle injury.
Play it to win it.
Staten has already scored once today. Jim Grove now watching his team march downfield. Second down, 7. Ball is at the 8. McPherson calls his own number and then gets taken down by Eric Meekins. Good tackle behind the line of scrimmage at the 9-yard line.
Meekins, he hit her. Big time hitter. This is bread and butter. Wake offense. They're going to run the option. Notice how he has the ball under his arm. There was no threat of pitch on that.
And that disturbed Jim Grove.
I know Jim. Big Jim is fierce. He's a competitor.
Third and 8. McPherson to throw. Looking for the end zone. Has Stone there. Picked off. Hafley interception.
Big play for the Tigers. Poor ball placement by McPherson. That pass has got to go over the outside shoulder. Give your guy a chance at it or throw it in the end zone. I love the call. Good pressure right at the flash. Tigers were there. That's good defensive play.
Third turnover of the day, the second interception by James McPherson, and the third interception of the year by Charles Hafley will kill Wake Forest's drive and give the Tigers the ball with 2:09 left to go and a 1-touchdown lead.
Give Rodney Thomas an assist on that play. He went airborne, got right in the vision a bit of McPherson.
I think if McPherson seen more of that, he probably might not have thrown that ball. Here comes Dantzler, and Dantzler goes down in the grasp of Calvin Pace. So we've got a timeout with 2:02 left to go, taken by Wake Forest. Clemson 21, Wake Forest 14. It's 21-14, Clemson over Wake Forest in the fourth with 2:02 left to play. Jim Grobe's team now on defense after turning it over for the third time today. Clemson second down and 9, Woodrow Dantzler. With the play action, he's still got it. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Monty Sharp says this play goes no further, maybe about a yard gain. Timeout on the field with 1:52 left to play. Clemson up by 7. We'll be right back. We are back. Fourth quarter action. Clemson with a football. Third down and 10. Third down and 8, actually. Dantzler to the sideline, and he gets the first down. Yep, they did. They had him bottled up. But a lot of people think that when they're chasing.
Yeah, it looks that way. It looks that way.
And he's over the 100-yard mark for the day. And that first down could pretty much do it.
I can't imagine chasing this guy.
There's his passing yardage.
There you see the pursuit angles there. Look good. Bowling, trying to get outside, keep him in. He makes one sharp cut. You break a couple of arm tackles, move the chains.
He's been breaking tackles all day. 119 yards on the ground for Woodrow Dantzler, 211 yards in the air. He's rushed for 1 touchdown. He's thrown for 2 more. And he's got the football. 19 left.
Think Hogwood can catch it.
Take a knee. Wake Forest has 1 timeout left. And they will likely call it here. So let's take a look at the turning point in this fourth quarter. These two teams have squared off fairly evenly. Wake Forest came from 2 touchdowns down and looked like they were going to get the football at midfield. Watch this play. Is this a fumble by Woodrow Dantzler? Watch his knee and then watch the ball.
Ball is out, knee is down.
Instead, they ruled it wasn't a fumble, and then Wake Forest drove for a score. Instead, they were denied by Charles Hafley with an interception in the end zone. Now, what's the difference? Well, a minute's worth in time, which would be on the clock right now, and also about 35 yards of real estate that Wake Forest would not have had to driven through.
And one more factor, momentum.
Exactly.
Mo on your side. Now he's wearing a black shirt.
All right, now Tommy Bowden talking things over. There's Rick Stockstill there along with him, his assistant, who helps out with the quarterbacks. What a brain trust that Tommy Bowden has. He has Brad Scott and Michael Caine in the coach's box. And look at this. Woodrow Dantzler, first player in ACC history to rush for 2,000 and pass for 4,000. I don't think we'll see many like this young man. And 2,209 career rushing yards. That's the all-time total ever logged by a quarterback. And he has over 7,000 yards now. Actually, about 7,300 yards of total offense.
You don't think Willie Simmons can catch it?
I don't think so. Wake's out of timeouts, and all Woodrow Dantzler has to do is take, well, maybe another knee. They've got 3rd down and 12 coming here, but they'll take their time. The clock will continue to roll. Wake cannot stop the clock any longer. So Dantzler will have to do maybe something more than take a knee to protect the ball, but no, likely not. Now that's down to 38 seconds. They may even take a penalty and then watch the game end. For Tommy Bowden, he wanted to see how his team would react after the loss, a bitter loss at home against North Carolina. 3rd down. Dantzler takes the knee one more time. And the clock is stopped with 21 seconds left to go.
Boy, Wake Forest is right on the verge. I mean, I was very impressed with their plan. We're talking about a team that was hobbled with injuries, but yet you couldn't tell because they were so competitive.
I think it's clear what Tommy Bowden wants Woody to take. He wants him. It's going to be 3rd down and long with the delay of game penalty, but he wants him to take one more knee, and that should be enough to get the clock exhausted here. As Wake Forest is out of timeouts, and this ball game will end. And the relief on the face of Tommy Bowden as he comes out to Woodrow Dantzler and says, "You are the ticket today." That's for sure.
You're the man.
Jim Grobe disappointed. Another close call against an ACC opponent as they meet at midfield. Jim Grobe's team looks pretty tough, I think, and get a couple of good recruiting years here. They've got a good facility here, and he's getting ready to turn this program around. And now standing by with Tommy Bowden is our Mike Hogwood.
Well, Coach, you came out in the second half, and the offense really seemed to get going.
Well, yeah, you know, we look for somebody else to make a play other than Woody. We were struggling right now, playing a bunch of young guys, and somebody else other than Woody's going to have to make a play. And until he makes one, sometimes we struggle.
Second game that we've seen you come in and use the tight end and come up with a big play for a touchdown.
Yeah, we've got some good young tight ends. We're going to try to find a way to incorporate them more into the offense.
This team has once again rebounded from a loss and come back. Were you pleased with the effort and the way they bounced back after last week at Carolina?
Real pleased. 3 road wins in the ACC. With the addition of these new coaches, I tell you, the guy at Wake Forest, Jim's done a great job. And I don't look forward to playing that offense anymore.
You know, a lot of people have talked about your defense this season, but Charles Hafley made a huge play when Wake's driving to tie the game, comes up with a big interception.
Defense probably won the game for us today, which is was good because it's about time. They've taken a bad rep. They played great today.
What does this do for your team now to come back from this and get a win? I mean, is it get back on track?
Makes us 5-2. We're about 114th in the nation in turnovers. You know, we've been really bad on giving the ball up, not getting it. But today, defense came up with some great turnovers.
Congratulations on the win. Tommy Bowden head to the locker room with his team. See.
They picked up 3 turnovers today. The big one, Charles Hafley, his 3rd interception of the year that stopped Wake Forest drive cold at the 7-yard line. And that's how it ends up as Clemson defeats Wake Forest. Terrence Williams goes to the locker room in under crutches, and that was a key blow to Wake Forest offense this afternoon. We'll be back with more from Winston-Salem right after this. The Citgo ACC Game of the Week has been brought to you by Citgo. Your neighborhood Citgo is proud to support today's athletes. Citgo, we know you. By your local Carolina Chrysler dealers, proud to be the official vehicles of the Carolina Panthers. By Don Pablo's, the real enchilada. And by Advance Auto Parts, the best part is our people. Welcome back to Winston-Salem Grove Stadium on a very chilly afternoon, but plenty of hot action here as the Clemson Tigers get out to a 2-touchdown lead and then hold Wake Forest off at the gates. 21-14. They lift their record to 5-2. More importantly, they only have 2 losses in conference, Doc, and an important game for this Clemson defense, much maligned over the week. And of course, they had several big stands. They had 3 interceptions and then a 4th down stand that stopped Wake in the red zone.
Yeah, when they had to come up large, they did. What you don't want to do is look ahead, and I think it's pretty clear they have the Seminoles next week, and the statistics don't often tell you the whole truth, but in this it's pretty clear.
Yeah, a very even ball game between these two. Look at what Wake Forest was able to get on the ground. That's got to be a concern for Tommy Bowden as he gets set to play Florida State.
Yeah, it is, but that's Wake Forest. That's what they do. And
that's
time of possession, that's their trademark. And Coach Grobe has this program going the way he wants it to go. It's a physical statement. I mean, these guys play with great intensity. I thought McPherson was fantastic at the quarterback spot. He came in with a bad ankle. They were winded at that spot, and the receivers, they got the passing game going late. That's something they can work on, but their heart is there.
Yeah, 3 big passes to Jax Landfrey that kept them going and set up one score at least, and could have very well set up another. But in the end, it was the effort of Woodrow Dantzler. And he only had 43 yards on the ground at halftime, but ended up over the century mark today.
Yeah, simply, there are a lot of great players in the NCAA, but he, for my money, when he's on, is as good as it gets.
Well, defense was the key, though, for Clemson in the second half. And, of course, standing by with one of the best defenders on the field. Mike Hogwood talked earlier with Chad Carson.
Chad Carson, the defense has taken a lot of bad raps this year, but today you guys come up with some big plays.
Yeah, I mean, they got a couple good touchdowns, and they made it on good plays, but for the most part, our defense came through. And I think it's a long time coming. We have a young defense, and Coach Herring, we did that for Coach Herring today. He's always been giving us a good game plan.
Okay, you waited a long time to get that interception in your career, didn't you?
4th year, man, and everybody's saying I'm so slow, but they didn't see that cutback I made. I don't know if they saw that part.
What about this defense now in a game like this, and when you have taken some hits and some bad reps, does it give you a little bit of confidence now as you head down the stretch of the season?
Yes, sir. I mean, we don't want to depend on offense. You know, we're a defensive school, and we want to hold our part up. And I'm proud of the job our whole defense today. Defensive line, defensive backs, linebackers, we work together well.
Chad Carson, one of the leaders, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mike Hogwood. You know, we talked about the fact that Wake Forest offensive line had only allowed 9 sacks all season, but both of Jim McPherson's interceptions today were passes that were tipped either by pressure or by defensive line.
You make a great point. It's not always the sack that counts, but it's always the pressure. Took a couple of hits early in the game that we commented on after he was able to throw the ball. So Coach Herring really has to be happy with his defense because Clemson put consistent pressure on Wake Forest, and that's real important.
Well, if you get an interception, you get to stand next to Mike Hogwood. Chad Carson had the honor. Let's go down to Mike, who's standing by with Charles Hafley.
Wake Forest was driving, Charles. You guys weren't stopping them. They were going in for the tie and score. You make the big play. Tell me what happened.
It was just basically man-to-man coverage, and we just stayed with our man, and we just locked on, and, you know, God gave him the talent to just go up in the air and just get the ball and bring it down, and we basically secured the win.
A guy like John Stone, his speed, he's not easy to cover, is he?
Nah, John Stone is not easy to cover. He's basically a track athlete, and, you know, myself, I'm a good cover guy, and I just use my cover techniques and with his speed, and we just came out and just had a great day.
Defensive backs haven't had an easy time this season at Clemson. Do you feel that this might have been the turning corner right here?
I think so. God has given us talent throughout the backfield and the secondary, and I think that this one of them times that this secondary is just moving. We're going to take this game and follow and go change from there.
What was the attitude of this team after the loss at home against North Carolina last week?
The attitude of this team was basically sour. We glad we got it out our mouth now. We just coming next week. We're going to get ready, and we had a good Wake Forest team today. We came out and just gave our all and came out with a win.
Does this win put you back on track, you feel, for where you want to go in this season?
I think the Lord given us that we have our own destination, and we have our own destiny in front of us, and we are the only people that's in our way. And we just think that this win will bring us back in the ACC hunt.
Steve, Charles Hafley, a big playmaker today. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Well, he said the key, it does bring them back into the ACC hunt. Now, they stay with just 2 losses, and that's important because North Carolina only has 1, Florida State has 1, and, of course, Maryland has none. And Maryland and Florida State meeting a little bit later on today. But Charles Hafley was all over people today. He had 19 tackles against North Carolina. We don't know what his final total today was, but he had an outstanding play today.
Well, Hafley took advantage of what the offense gave him, rather. You watch McPherson. This throw, in my opinion, needs to be on the outside, and I'm sure they'll go over that. But then the ball's in the air, and he shields. He's able to shield Stone out of the way and then make the catch. And how often do we see DBs with the ball in their vicinity and they don't make the catch?
And let's take a look at our Texas Pete players of the game. And, well, there's no surprise on the Clemson side. Woodrow Dantzler got the job done, 330 total yards. But a good call on Wake Forest with Fred Staten.
Boy, Staten showed a lot of courage. 95 yards on 29 carries. He had a score. He was the workhorse, plow mule, if you will, who kept them in the game, kept the ball out of Dantzler's hands. Can you imagine if Woodrow had more possessions?
Oh, my goodness.
Sick.
330 yards total. That's pretty good for an afternoon. Staten coming in place of Terrence Williams, who was injured with an ankle on the day. The final score is Clemson 21 and Wake Forest 14. Will return after these messages from your local ACC station. Clemson 21, Wake Forest 14. It's a final. Tigers now 5-2. Their defense gets the job done at the right moment today. Steve Martin here along with Doc Walker, but standing by on the sidelines, Mike Hogwood with Reggie Herring, defensive coordinator for the Clemson Tigers.
Yeah, Steve, and I think Reggie has to be breathing a little sigh of relief. Defense has been taking some hits the past couple of weeks, and today, wow, they made some big plays there in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, I tell you what, first of all, you gotta commend Wake Forest and Coach Grobe, and those kids never quit, and they fought for 4 quarters, and Coach Grobe's doing a good job at Wake, and that's going to help our conference. The second thing is You're exactly right. Boy, we've been taken to the briar patch, and I tell you, our kids, our biggest concern all year has been not losing our kids' attention, their spirit, their soul, and we've had a lot of adversity, and it's just the way the kids played today and just rose to the occasion is a true testament of their character, and what it does is give you hope for the program. We got a lot of young kids right now who learn how to play football. Played a true freshman, Eric Sampson. Late got hurt the first series, and a true freshman played every snap at will linebacker for us and made some incredible plays, and just we finally made some plays on defense.
And Hafley, a veteran guy, when they have the ball inside the 10-yard line, comes up, saves it there, and makes the big interception once again.
Boy, you don't know how lucky we were and happy that they threw a fade to Charles Hafley. He's our tallest DB, actually, and probably our most experienced guy. So I couldn't think of a better player to make a play like that, and a senior, and it's his last year, and we're just glad that he was the guy there for the jump ball.
Also, Chad Carson had his first career interception today. His leadership must mean a lot to this defense. You're playing a lot of young guys, and what he gives you out there on the field.
Well, Chad exemplifies the student athlete. He's a 4.0 student, bio major. I can't even spell it, but the bottom line is he's an incredible student. He's an incredible person. He does give us great leadership, and it's been tough on him. It's his senior year, but he is providing great leadership.
In a game like this where the defense comes through and wins, and this has to really give you some momentum now for the defense for the rest of the season.
Well, I think that's true. I think our offense, on any given day, our offense, it can explode. So regardless of any antics or whatever happens in a game, they're always capable of going the distance. We've got to, hold our end of the rope defensively, and this will give us a game that we at least can gain some confidence that we won the game on defense. At the end of the game, we made plays, and that's something we hadn't done in the past, and that's got to jumpstart our confidence.
Congratulations, Reggie.
Thank you very much.
Big day for the Clemson D, Steve.
In a lot better mood this week than he was last week. Let's take a look at the standings and see what this does to Clemson now, Doc. They stay in the ACC with only 2 losses, and that's important when you look at who and what is ahead of them.
It is. I can't help but look at Carolina and go, wow. I remember the time they were 0-3. That program has really turned it around. Maryland, again, you talked about the big game with FSU. And Clemson's sitting there right in position, but they're going to have to do it on the field.
And, of course, Georgia Tech is sitting there, too. They've got a game coming up next Thursday with North Carolina. For Wake Forest, it drops them to 4 conference losses, and it's tough now because they only have 3 conference games remaining, and only 2 of those are at home, 1 of those against Georgia Tech. And they've already played Maryland and lost. They've already played Florida State and lost, and now count this on up to Clemson, a loss as well. So Clemson at 3-2 with only 2 losses in conference play. Now you turn around and you take a look at what that means nationally, the big picture as far as the AP Top 25 is concerned. And it's a new horizon here in the ACC when somebody other than Florida State can be the top team in the conference in the AP Top 25.
No, it really does. And Ralph Friedgen, the Maryland Terrapins, the great job they've done, and their defense is what has carried them. And if they're to beat Florida State, they'll have to continue today. But the Seminoles, you'd never, ever count them out. Georgia Tech, who I really thought would be at the top of this heap when the season started. And then again, Carolina, we can't say enough about the job that Coach Bunning has done there.
Well, keep in mind, Georgia Tech does have a game remaining with Florida State at the end of the season that will have huge implications. Well, defense was the day today for the Clemson Tigers. They win at 21-14 over Wake Forest, and one of the key players, defensive tackle Nick Eason, who's been battling off injuries, he's standing by with our Mike Hogwarts.
It's been a tough year for you. You've been battling injuries. You stayed pretty healthy today.
Yeah, I did. I just been going to the training room every morning trying to get treatment and be as healthy as I can be, even though I may not be 100%. So, yeah, I came out today and I was ready to play.
Wake Forest does a great job of running the football with their option and their ground game. That really put a lot of pressure on you guys today.
Exactly. We knew that, coming from an awful Wofford game, that they probably try to run the option a lot on against us, but it was all about assignment football, and it just the ends had to be smart and the tackles had to get penetration.
Talk about the character of this team. I know you're one of the leaders on this team, and that after a loss, Clemson has made a habit of the last couple of years of bouncing back really strong, and you did that again this week after the loss to North Carolina.
Yeah, I talked to guys all week, man. It's about, bouncing back. It's about your pride. Our pride was hurt from last week. We didn't play very well, and it was our goal to come out and show people that we're a good team and that we can come back off of a loss.
And this defense made a statement today.
Oh, yeah, the defense, we did a great job. We came out and we got to continue to play hard the rest of the season, and that's what we should have been doing all season. And we finally came together today and done what we're supposed to do.
And Steve, having a healthy Nick Easton on the field sure helps.
Yeah,
thanks.
no problem.
It's a big day for Nick Easton, who had some good pressure this afternoon for the Clemson Tigers. Here's a look at the BCS rankings prior to today. Of course, Oklahoma and Nebraska battling at the top. They're going at it in Lincoln. Nebraska had the most recent lead by 3, but that may change. UCLA in there at 3rd. Miami with a big win over West Virginia. They'll solidify that in 4th. But Virginia Tech was in trouble, losing by 10 last we heard, and they're in 5th. Then there's Texas. Then you have Michigan. And the Maryland Terrapins can do a lot for their BCS ranking today if they're able to be successful in Tallahassee, but that is a very tall chore.
It's a tall chore, but it ought to be a tall chore. Whenever you go to knock the king off the hill, you know, it should be something of a great effort.
Tennessee playing South Carolina tonight, and then Washington State in 10th. Let's look at some scores around the country. As you look at them right here, Vanderbilt is leading Duke, and the Duke Blue Devils will find themselves possibly, if they don't turn this around here in the 3rd quarter, looking at their 20th straight loss. And a defensive battle at halftime at Carter Finley Stadium, NC State by a field goal over the Virginia Cavaliers.
There's the Oklahoma-Nebraska up now 20-10. And Syracuse, how about this score? Syracuse 20 and the Virginia Hokies 7.
And the Virginia Tech Hokies have been talking about lack of respect for the Big East and the BCS. Well, they don't do anything to help the case there. Purdue 32-20 over Northwestern. They're in the 4th there at West Lafayette. And look at this score. Penn State in the 4th over Ohio State. The Buckeyes coming in there 4-2. Joe Paterno going for the all-time coaching win record at Penn State, and he leads it 29-27. And can he hang on and get it in the 4th quarter?
Got to pull a little bit for Joe Pa.
Oh, yeah. I just said a tough season. They had a tough loss last week.
And you look at the Spartans over the Badgers 42-21 in that. And Arkansas, the Hogs over Auburn, 17th ranked, 28-17. That in the 3rd quarter.
And let's go down. We've talked with some defensive players now. Let's take a look at that offensive line of the Clemson Tigers. They have to protect Woody Dantzler all afternoon. And Kyle Young, who is an academic All-American for the Clemson Tigers, standing by now with our Mike Hogwood.
The real leader of the offensive line. And when you got a guy like Woody Dantzler back there, it makes your job even more important up front. You never give up because you know this guy is going to break one every now and then.
Yeah, you got to maintain your blocks when you got Woody back there running the ball, throwing the ball, and he makes so many things happen for us, and, you know, we're just glad he's on our team today.
The difference in the first half and the second half for you guys?
I think the biggest difference is probably we cut out a lot of the penalties that we had in the first half, cut out a lot of the mistakes. The first 2 drives of the second half, and that's really what propelled us to the victory.
Did you change anything for the second half in order to get that offense a little more sustained on the field?
Not really. Not really. As just came out, and we eliminated the mistakes, and that was really the biggest thing.
Well, the offense in the second half was significantly better, in large part to Kyle Young and his quarterback, Woodrow Dantzler.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mike Hogwood. And we are going to come back with more post-game activity. Clemson, a 21-14 winner over Wake Forest. We'll be back right after this. Take you down to the offensive side of the ball. Offensive coordinator Brad Scott standing by with our Mike Hogwood.
Thanks, Steve. Brad, what was the difference to you in the second half in the offense?
Well, I think we got in a little bit of a rhythm. You know, we were on worst enemy in the first half with some costly penalties, and give Wake Forest a lot of credit. They did a few things there in that first half with the open week, maybe, I don't know, but we never could get in a rhythm in the first half. Second half, we got in a rhythm. We reduced the yardage on first and second down, and really helped our offense.
Woodrow Dantzler, he is a difference maker. He was today. Shut down in the first half, but in the second half, he made some plays, and that's what you expect of him.
Well, that's really, you know, a tremendous player, and when we got in our critical situations, you know, we were going to want to put the ball in Woodrow's hands, and so we developed some things for him in the offense. But some adjustments that our assistant coaches made at halftime, too, by formationing Wake Forest and getting a few more people out of the box helped open up the run a little bit for Woody.
And I noticed on the sidelines he didn't get down at all when he was shut down and hemmed in, that he kept working with the coaches and with you guys trying to find a way to get that offense going.
Well, he's a tremendous competitor. His highs are not real high and his lows are never real low. You know, he's very steady, and I think that's one of the things that makes him special. But he had a good performance again, especially in the second half, and I thought some of our young receivers and our freshmen really stepped up.
I was going to say, your passing game really seemed to work well today, and a lot of guys made a lot of good catches.
Well, they sure did, and you're seeing 4 freshmen out there, including Ben Hall, our tight end, and Aries Curry, Roscoe Crosby, Derek Hamilton. So those guys are going to play a lot of football for Clemson, and they made some great catches today. We hope that we'll get a little more consistent, not drop it.
Brad, thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.
Steve, back up to you.
Thanks, Mike. Well, you know, you got to look at Tommy Bowden. He's got to be pretty happy. He looks up into the booth and he sees 2 former head coaches up there. Michael Cain is his quarterback coach, and Brad Scott was at South Carolina, his offensive coordinator. That's a lot of brain trust to work with.
And where it really pays off is in practice, because now you get guys out there who really earn the trust from the coach, and the coach is not competing. Everybody has one goal, and that is to win the ACC and get to a big bowl game, and you could just see it evident on the field. They have an unusual offense, so it takes a lot of coaching, and they've done an outstanding job.
Well, let's take a look at what Clemson has ahead of them now. Of course, with this win now, they go back to Death Valley, and they take on the Florida State Seminoles. It's a battle of the Bowden family, of course, and that's next Saturday at Clemson. Then the schedule gets a lot tougher. You got to go to Maryland and take on Maryland, depending on what their situation is. And then, of course, doesn't matter what the records are when these two meet. They just happen to be both very good this year. South Carolina hosting Clemson in Columbia on the 17th. And then, of course, the postponed game that was supposed to be played in September and postponed by the terrorist tragedy. Now it'll be played on December 1st. It takes on new meaning with the Duke Blue Devils. So the Clemson Tigers have their work cut out for them. And let's take a look at what Wake Forest has left now. Wake Forest still can get themselves bowl eligible, but here's the road they have to journey through to get there. And we'll be with them next week when they go to Virginia to take on the Cavaliers. And then they must travel to North Carolina, and then games at home against Georgia Tech and Northern Illinois.
And then you compound that problem with Terrence Williams, their outstanding running back, who may not be available. I mean, with the bad ankle injury, so he could be out.
And Williams is their slashing back. Staten represents the power, but Williams is the guy who can get yourself some yardage in a hurry. And here he gets the touchdown and put Wake Forest ahead in this ball game 7-0. And even though Fred Staten can carry the ball, Williams is the speed guy.
Yeah, he really is. And here we got a chance to see the injury. Terrence Williams, an all-purpose back, but Wake Forest has some depth, and they showed it.
Well, we'll come back with more from Winston-Salem as the Clemson Tigers have defeated the Wake Forest Demon Deacons 21-14. More in a moment. You all right? Welcome back to Grove Stadium. Clemson 21-14 over the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, and Clemson now 5-2 on the season. Wake Forest falls to 3-4. Wake Forest can say they made some considerable progress, really, when you take a look at what happened last year between these two teams, and they had the ball a good measure of the time this afternoon.
Well, it's a whole new program here for Wake Forest. The intensity is the one thing that I think that Coach Grove has been able to transfer to these players. And they came out, and we're not talking about they had a great effort deal. They were in a position to win a ball game, and they've been in that position against 2 other pretty good football teams. When you talk about Maryland and NC State, and I think it's the consensus that a lot of people felt like they could have been in those games and won them.
And it's an offense that got 400 yards against Florida State as well. And they got the first score in this game as we bring you a recap of today's action. They are actually up 7-0 on a Terrence Williams touchdown.
Well, it starts with those big guys up front in the black shirts. The 3 seniors led the way. Terrence had no problem following it. Then Dantzler comes back, and this is the one thing that Clemson had to do: get their air attack going with those talented young receivers that they employ. Then once again, it all comes back to the magician. Watch him work. Gets around the corner and scores. Not to be left out of this net, comes back for Wake Forest, and at that point I really felt like we were going to overtime.
Well, there was a pass into the end zone that was intercepted, and there the game ended. But the guy who started this game and made it happen, Woodrow Dantzler, standing by with Mike Hogwood.
1 second. We got Woody Dantzler here. And Woody, second half, what was the difference in this team?
What was the difference? I didn't really see a difference. We just came together. I mean, we were the same team from the first half. It's just that we didn't execute like we were supposed to. We had a couple of plays to make, we didn't make them, and then we just came in. We refocused in the locker room at halftime, and we came back out ready to play.
Passing game really seemed to come together today, and your young receivers made some great catches.
Yeah, just looking around, we saw some things in the first half, and I missed them, and I went in the locker room, talked to Willie a little bit, talked to the coaches, and they told me some things, and when I got back out there, I anticipated them, and it pretty much came open.
You've gotten a lot of confidence in your passing game, and it really seems to work and set that defense a little bit off balance.
Exactly. We knew they were going to come in and try to stack the box and make us throw the ball. So we knew we had to come in and execute throwing the ball. And we worked on that pretty much all practice. I mean, yeah, throughout the week.
Talk to some of the other players. This team has a habit of bouncing back after tough losses. And after the loss in North Carolina, you proud of what this team did today?
Exactly. I mean, we did it once. We already knew we can do it. But the question was, could we do it again? And we came out there and we had to prove that we could do it again.
What does this do for this team now heading the rest of the season? I know this game had to give you a lot of confidence.
Okay, we kind of got rid of that loss from last week. That's the best way to contradict the loss, especially one like that. When we didn't play as well as we could, we come out and get a win the following week. So, I mean, now it's time to refocus after the night, enjoy this. Come Sunday, got to refocus and get ready for our next team.
Woodrow Dantzler, leader of this offense. Steve?
So for many great moments this afternoon, and of course a steady play by Woodrow Dantzler. Only 43 yards at halftime, but he took it over in the second half. It's amazing how his running ability freezes everybody who wants to sack him.
And what I was most impressed by that interview with Mike Hogwood is that Woodrow didn't know he has the Seminoles next. I mean, he was clearly real focused on trying to avenge that loss to the Tar Heels, and that was impressive. He didn't know who they play next week.
Well, look ahead to the Seminoles. What are Clemson's chances in your mind?
Well, it's always good with Dantzler. If he's healthy, Florida State, we don't know what the outcome will be as they take on the University of Maryland. But if you're playing in Death Valley and you go back to what the Heels did to Clemson, I don't know if anybody can do that again.
No, and certainly with the defensive personnel that North Carolina has, they're going to do that to a lot of people. But on a day in which the parachutists came down just about on mark and the wind blew hard, the Clemson Tigers were able to prevail as they stopped Wake Forest at the gate. 21-14 the final over the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. And of course, join us next week when we bring you ACC football from Citgo as we take you to Charlottesville, Virginia. And the Tigers will take on, rather the Wake Forest Demon Deacons will take on the Cavaliers from the University of Virginia. And you'll have it live for you beginning at 12 noon here on Jefferson Pilot Sports. Well, for Mike Hogwood and Doc Walker, I'm Steve Martin, thanking you for tuning in to ACC football this afternoon. You've been watching Jefferson Pilot Sports exclusive coverage of Atlantic Coast Conference football. The final score, the Clemson Tigers 21, the Wake Forest Demon Deacons 14. Good afternoon from Winston-Salem.